Right after Crawford struck Canelo at the airport, things didn't turn out straight for him. Well, he later found himself in handcuffs. The confrontation, which escalated quickly, led to Crawford being detained by airport security.
All the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
Reports suggest that after a brief scuffle, local authorities came and arrested the undisputed welterweight champion.
Yo, Turk, tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes. Let's go. Canelo, come on.
Although he was arrested, it didn't mean that things were only going to get worse for him. He was put in custody but was luckily released shortly thereafter. Following his release, Terence Crawford still seems laser-focused on one thing: fighting Canelo Álvarez, according to British boxing manager Eddie Hearn. Crawford's only goal at this stage in his career is a showdown with Canelo, one of the biggest names in boxing. Bud Crawford, already an undisputed champion in two divisions, super lightweight and welterweight, recently joined the super welterweight scene with a bang. His debut in the division saw him win the WBA title from the formidable Israel Madrimov. This win positioned him as a major player in the super welterweight division and got him a step closer to boxing immortality. However, despite his historic successes and his current chase of a third undisputed title in the super welterweight division, Crawford's eyes seem to be set on something else. A big fight with Canelo Álvarez. Hearn thinks that Crawford is less motivated by the legacy that would come with unifying the super welterweight division and more driven by financial incentives.
Canelo, Johnny Boy Boxing Flight Hype. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean,
$100 million. I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
150.
150?
Terence Crawford has the unique chance to make boxing history by becoming the first fighter in the four-belt era to unify three divisions. His victory over Israel Madrimov won him the WBA title in the super welterweight division, and now the WBO has ordered their champion Sebastian Fondor, who also holds the WBC title, to defend against Crawford.
We get the rematch, but not in this moment. Now I need to maximize the most money for the fighter. And I believe he deserves it.
Is that Errol Spence Jr.?
That's correct.
Over Crawford? Like, does Spence more money? Or?
No, Crawford will not sell out 90,000 people in Dallas. I can tell you that much.
Does Crawford
A fight against Fondor would bring Crawford one step closer to becoming a three-division undisputed champion. It's a historic feat that very few boxers have even come close to achieving. Yet despite the prestige that would come with such an accomplishment, Crawford seems to have moved his focus to a different prize. Canelo Álvarez. Eddie Hearn, the influential Matchroom promoter, has been candid about what he thinks is driving Crawford's recent moves, according to Hearn. Crawford's motivations are no longer centered around building a lasting boxing legacy. Instead, Hearn believes Crawford is more concerned with securing big money fights that will allow him to retire comfortably. I don't think Terence Crawford will fight again unless it's against Canelo Álvarez. Hearn told TalkSport he's made good money in his last few fights, and I don't think he's interested in facing Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Boots. Andis, he's only looking for big paydays now, and that means Canelo. Hearn's view reflects a broader issue within the boxing world. Fighters, especially those who have already achieved major success, become more selective in the later stages of their careers. Crawford, now 36 years old, has already cemented his place in boxing history. And according to Hearn, he's looking for the most lucrative chances available before hanging up his gloves. Crawford's career earnings have skyrocketed in recent years, especially after his high-profile victories over Errol Spence Jr. and his recent bout with Madrimov. These massive paydays have definitely changed his outlook on his future fights. As Hearn pointed out, Crawford has grown accustomed to making substantial sums for his appearances in the ring, and it's unlikely that he would take a pay cut to fight lesser-known names like Virgil Ortiz or Jaron. Hearn said he's used to that pay rate now, and the only way to keep those figures coming is a fight with Canelo Álvarez. I don't see him rushing to fight anyone else, especially not young competitors. This reality puts Crawford in a unique situation. While he has the chance to make history by unifying the super welterweight division, he's in no hurry to fight just anyone. Instead, he seems happy to bide his time waiting for the perfect opportunity to make an enormous payday, something only a fight with Canelo Álvarez could provide. Interestingly, a Crawford-Canelo fight almost materialized earlier this year when Saudi Arabian boxing chief Usyk showed interest in hosting the mega event. Usyk even went as far as to include the fight at the top of his boxing wish list. However, after a breakdown in communication, Usyk publicly withdrew his offer and made a lengthy statement accusing Canelo of ducking both David Benavidez and Crawford. The statement sure did leave some shake in the sport and put a temporary halt to any discussions about a possible bout between Crawford and Canelo. However, it seems that the bridges between the two camps have been mended and the fight is once again a possibility. The only problem is timing. Canelo Álvarez has his own plan for now. After the fight with Berlanga, he said that he will be taking a break to enjoy time with his family or enjoy his money before getting back to the ring for Crawford. This means waiting in the wings while he could explore other options, such as a fight with Sebastian Fondor, or young rising stars like Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis. He seems determined to wait for Canelo. According to Hearn, Crawford's attitude is clear. He's not interested in any fight that doesn't promise a massive payout.
Was supposed to fight
Terence Crawford.
Terence
Yeah, I remember
Crawford
that.
for
We
the
talked about
for the WBO title, and now that he's fighting Spence, it's gonna get stripped from him.
Right.
So
Eddie Hearn has been open about his skepticism regarding Crawford's future in the sport. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't fight again. Hearn said he's made so much money already, and after that tough fight with Madoff, he might not want to risk it all again. Hearn's comments reflect the cautious attitude many elite fighters take as they near the end of their careers. With millions in the bank and a potential mega fight with Canelo on the horizon, Crawford is in no rush to face lesser-known contenders. Instead, he's waiting for the right chance to come along, and that opportunity is Canelo Álvarez. Hearn continued, I think he probably looks at the Israel Madrimov fight and goes, blimey, not that he got away with it, but he could have lost it all there. He's thinking more carefully now, and he's not going to rush back into the ring unless it's for a huge payday. For now, it appears Terence Crawford is happy to play the waiting game. He's not interested in a quick return to the ring, and according to Hearn, it's unlikely that fans will see him fight again before the end of the year. Instead, Crawford will bide his time, staying in shape but waiting for the right opportunity. A fight with Canelo Álvarez. Crawford's long-term strategy is clear. He's going for the biggest payday possible, and that means targeting the sport's biggest star. Whether or not the fight materializes remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. Crawford is determined to make it happen while waiting for Canelo to make his move. Crawford might find another goal that may soon come to fruition, and that is Fondor.
Goals, in boxing, he's a legend right now in this sport, and one of the top fighters. So, I like to get in the ring with him too. It'd be a great fight. He's before that Terence Crawford fight, he was considered one of the best fighters in the world. So, let's do it. Whatever they give me, Earl Spence is a great opportunity. I think it's a match made in heaven.
Initially, Fondor was in talks to face Errol Spence Jr., the same fighter Terence Crawford defeated to establish himself as the undisputed welterweight champion. However, Fondor's recent triumph over Tim Tszyu, which earned him both the WBO and WBC titles, has shifted his focus. His plans to fight Spence now face a significant obstacle, as the WBO has mandated that Fondor begin negotiations with Crawford within 30 days. If an agreement isn't reached, the WBO threatens to initiate a purse bid, risking Fondor a loss of his WBO belt. The directive is clear. Any refusal by Fondor to proceed with the Crawford fight, unless mutually agreed otherwise, will result in him forfeiting his title. This abrupt development leaves Fondor with a tough decision. Stick to his plan of fighting Spence and risk losing his WBO title, or pivot to a Crawford bout, which offers the chance for a high-stakes unification clash. Despite his expressed interest in a Spence fight, Fondor now faces an uncertain path forward. A matchup with Crawford, one of the generation's most accomplished boxers, represents both a challenge and an opportunity. The stakes are enormous. One wrong move could cost him not only a fight, but also the title he worked so hard to secure. For Crawford, the WBO's ruling brings him closer to another legacy-defining moment. After claiming the WBA belt in his super welterweight debut by defeating Israil Madrimov, a unification bout with Fondor could push Crawford toward an extraordinary achievement, becoming a three-division undisputed champion. Having already dominated the super lightweight and welterweight divisions, Crawford's path to further greatness could unfold faster than expected. Interestingly, after Crawford's victory over Madrimov at 154 lbs, many questioned how his skills would hold up at even higher weights. Madrimov tested Crawford's abilities in their bout, but the question remains, could Crawford handle an additional jump to 168 lbs to face Canelo Álvarez? Crawford appears open to the idea, but with one condition: the financial reward must justify the risk. Speaking to DAZN's Chris Mannix after his win, Crawford emphasized, "If the money's right, we've got to fight." While he didn't dismiss the challenge, he acknowledged the immense difficulty of such a move, stating that his focus is on enjoying his recent accomplishments before considering a fight of that magnitude. At this stage in his career, Crawford has solidified his place in boxing history. Yet, a bout against Canelo at 168 lbs would test the limits of his abilities. Unlike Madrimov, who posed challenges at 154 lbs, fighters at super middleweight, like Canelo, bring size, power, and durability that would be hard for Crawford to match. Canelo, who has proven his dominance at higher weights and captured titles at light heavyweight, is a different caliber of opponent. Crawford, however, remains undeterred by the challenge. Reflecting on Madrimov's background, Crawford remarked that Madrimov had experience competing at higher weights as an amateur. Yet the difference between Madrimov and an elite, seasoned fighter like Canelo is significant. Canelo's resume, featuring victories over Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, and Caleb Plant, underscores the level of competition Crawford would face. For Crawford, the question isn't just about skill, but whether his power and durability can translate to a division as competitive and unforgiving as super middleweight. While his timing, ring IQ, and versatility are world-class, moving up to face someone like Canelo would demand extraordinary adaptation. Interestingly, Alexander Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight champion, has voiced confidence in Crawford's ability to challenge Canelo. According to Usyk, Crawford's adaptability, ambidextrous style, and control of distance could give him an edge against the Mexican superstar. Usyk believes Crawford's skill set could neutralize some of Canelo's physical advantages, proving that size alone doesn't determine the outcome of a fight. Despite widespread skepticism, Usyk's confidence in Crawford highlights the value of intelligence and strategy in boxing. While many consider it a massive risk for Crawford to move up in weight, Usyk's belief underscores the idea that skill can often triumph over size and power. As boxing fans await news of a potential Crawford-Canelo showdown, the stakes couldn't be higher. For Crawford, it's about legacy. A victory over Canelo would cement his status as one of the greatest fighters of all time. Until then, fans can only speculate. Is Crawford biting off more than he can chew, or could he pull off one of boxing's greatest upsets?